Real heavy!
What's up, everybody? It's March.
We're back.
Spring has sprung, and so have I.
Oh, I've sprang so hard. Just all these sick-ass releases.
Crazy death metal, black metal releases that we're about to blow your mind with that came out in March. And yeah, without furthering the dude, let's get into it.
Exactly. Just get right into it, right to the nitty-gritty.
Go first.
Start with tradition. I'm starting off with a band that I think is going to end up on so many year-end lists. The band is called Growth, and their album Under the Under. They're like an avant-garde kind of tech death band from Australia, and like all I can say is this album is just so damn good. Like these guys have to be in bed with like Ulster and Blindfolded, because it's essentially an album with like in their style, but just more on the death metal side of things, which is just, it's a masterpiece is all that I can simply say. I think what makes this album so good is how creative the songwriting is. Like it's heavy, but yet a lot of the songs are like 8 minutes or longer, but yet everything doesn't seem to like drag along or anything. Like it's like very fast, it feels like. Another thing is like it's such a versatile album too. Like it's one of those albums you can hit PRs at the gym, or just go for a drive, or if you're chilling at home or something like that. It's like basically you can use it in every circumstance and in every environment. Like the biggest thing is like the instrumentation. It's just so versatile. Like with the pace changes, like the musical styles goes from like super technical blast beats, simple breakdowns. You know, you got the scrunky chords. Sometimes you got like those deathcore-esque pinch harmonics from time to time, and like everything in between. Like it's just everything that's good about tech death metal, avant-garde it's all in here. And I think it's just anything that I say about this album will not ever do it justice. I think it's just you need to rip it front to back and then appreciate it for what it truly is. So I think if I had to recommend one like black or death metal album for all of March, I would, if anyone said you only can choose one album to listen to again, I would choose this one every other week. So it's just that good.
That's a strong first.
I know. There's no comparing.
No, we're going uphill for sure.
Yeah.
Those guys are from Australia, right?
Yeah, they are.
Australian, mate.
Oh, it's just everyone from there is so good. I don't understand how they can play such great music.
Yeah.
It's just anything that they touch turns to gold, essentially.
Yeah. It's freaking koala energy.
Yeah. You got nothing else to do.
Yeah. It's eating eucalyptus and shit and playing riffs. Speaking of Australia, my first band on this list is also from there. It's a band called Xenobiotic with their album Dante. And these guys are progressive, melodic, technical death metal, kind of bordering on like deathcore, but not really, I would say, in the similar vein as bands like Cognitive or Allegiant, Fit for an Autopsy. You get a lot of like that modern kind of sound, you know, modern production. But the album is built around a Dante's Inferno theme, both in the spoken word narration, a lot of the cinematic moments on the album, and just like the emotional peaks and valleys that it takes you through. It's kind of one of those albums you can tell just by listening to it, not even knowing, like if you didn't see the artwork, you didn't see the track listing, any of that, you just put it on, you can tell that it's kind of like a concept album. There's a story that's happening throughout the music, and the vision of the album is quite cohesive in that way. The artwork is just stunning, and musically it definitely has like the technical death metal, that modern tech death kind of undertone, but it's super aggressive, it's really punchy. It's like the perfect type of death metal for the gym, that like modern sound. And it has like really kind of like amazing atmosphere. It has that like, you know, kind of like mid, high, low range vocal performance. Super memorable hooks throughout the album. It makes it very like catchy and replayable. These are all things that you'd want from like a really good progressive modern death metal album like this. Yeah, I can't really say much more than that. It's really killer. Good riffs, super tight like songwriting and everything. And you know, I don't know what people think of like kind of the spoken word narration throughout the album, but I actually like it. Kind of helps to break things up a little bit. Yeah, it's an ass beater. It's really good for the gym. And that seems to be a theme for me this month. It's like there's a lot of good gym bangers in the March list. So,
and those are the best, because then you can associate like a good gym sesh with a good album, and you're like, man, I remember the time I was listening to this album and I, you know, hit a PR or just felt amazing or whatever. It just kind of adds like that layer of like memories, I guess. So then it's just like it makes it easier to go back to it because you have positive memories attached to it. So yeah, that's kind of sick. And like back to that album cover, I remember, I think that one's got like a 3-headed dragon or something on it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Erskine, I think his name is, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure it's the same dude who did like, I could be wrong on that. It could be Marius who did the artwork. Maybe I'm fucking that up, but like, yeah, whoever it is, amazing artist. Totally something that I could like get as like a poster or like an art piece for the office. Maybe that's something that we need to do. We
need to commission somebody.
Yeah.
But we should brainstorm afterwards. Oh, Boschman team album cover.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, sick. Okay, moving on. My next album is Death Doom band from Denmark called Foetorem, and their album Incongruous Forms of Evergrowing Rot. Sick ass name, but at first listen, you would never guess that these guys are from Denmark. Like they have that Florida swampy, like old school death metal, death doom sound. But the fact that they're from Denmark is just like the nicest people around, like probably the most beautiful scenery, and they're playing just the most swampy, disgusting music ever. Like how ironic! It's just I can never comprehend how Europeans can play the most vile stuff ever, and they live in the most beautiful place on earth. It's funny.
Quick sidebar. So there is an Instagram page. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like beautiful scenery shot through like a 4K camera. It's like a dude going on hikes and he's shooting like beautiful mountains and lakes, and it's just the most brutal, slamming technical death metal playing in the back.
It's just like tying the scenery in together.
Yeah.
It's like, is this what we were missing?
Yeah, it's like, and then the captions are like, imagine waking up to this and writing music like this. But I think about that all the time too with some of these like bands from Denmark or Norway or like, you know, Switzerland or Sweden or whatever. It's like, fuck. I get it if you live in where we live, but
yeah. Or like in Australia where it's just hot and disgusting all the time, but it's just
yeah, sorry.
Anyway, sidebar. But like, if you want death doom at its finest, this is the album that you're looking for. Like, you got like your typical drone-esque doom parts that drag on, but then like before, like the tremolo picked, like death doom leads kick in with that death metal flair, and like it just sends shivers down your spine type deal. Like, it's just perfect. I think this album essentially covers all aspects of the death doom subgenre, like all the ways that you could essentially play death doom, like whether it's through tone, whether it's through pace or like speed or anything like that, or pace changes. It's just because I know some bands will go certain routes. It's a pretty versatile subgenre, but I feel like you kind of get everything here, which is such a treat. And like the vocals, like extremely cavernous, yet they're raspy at the same time. Like kind of, you get like those frog-esque style low gutturals at some point. But like it pairs so well with the nastiness of like the instrumentation. Like, it's just, you wouldn't want to have it any other way. I think it's just one of those albums where it just keeps you on your toes the whole time. It's like very, very easy listen, as opposed to you're not gonna get any listening fatigue because there's like always something changing. But like with how much diversity it is, it does make it very versatile and very replayable, which is nice. So like bands, if you like Spectral Voice, Crypts, Hooded Menace, then like if you like those three, then this will be up your alley. So it's kick-ass release.
Dope. All right, we're coming back home to Canada. This is a really sick death doom band from Toronto called Gutvoid with their album Liminal Shrines. Cool thing about this band is it features members of other bands such as Fathomless Ritual, Intestinal Hex, and Exsanguinate. And at first, like, I didn't really give this album a solid listen until very recently when we were trying to come up with our favorite albums of the month. And man, it's a perfect death metal, death doom album. From start to finish, it's like super well written, extremely interesting. There's like so many genres or like subgenres of death metal that are just packed into it like a can of sardines. You have a lot of like that mid-tempo, neck snapping grooves that just like stank face inducing, with like a lot of the tremolo picking that you typically would find in like your death doom, like Foetorem, Fossilization, those types of bands. But then you have this like dense and blackened atmosphere from bands like Immolation, and then all of a sudden you get hit with like a super bright and uplifting progressive section that's almost like clean in the way that it sounds from like Hooded Menace album, you know, like they have a really great way of like blending, you know, darkness with like more lighter, doomier elements. This album perfectly encapsulates all of that. But then you're kind of slapped in the face with like super tight, sharp, but off-kilter, angular, dissonant guitar riffs from like early Gorguts. You know, it's like twisting and turning, but keeping things interesting, but all while staying on this like rhythmic train track that's being laid for you. So it's not like they're steering off into like, you know, between the buried in me progressive technical, you know, sidebars and then coming back. It's everything is being driven by like the bass line or like one of the guitar you know, rhythms, and they're and the drumming, and they're kind of keeping you on this track, but they're doing a lot of really crazy layered instrumentation throughout the journey. And then the vocals are like kind of growling, and you know, you have some like deep gutturals, but it helps to create this like murky and dark atmosphere, similar to what Immolation style vocals are. They don't really change, like they're not really super diverse, but you can tell that it like fits well with the theme and the atmosphere that they're going for. And I was listening to this, I'm like, man, it's shit like this that proves that Canada is still the number one when it comes to like this style of technical progressive death metal. You know, you got Mors Verum, which put out an amazing album this year. This is right up there with it. And you have like, there's another band on this list near the end that's also Canadian, kind of falls within the same territory. And you have Gorguts, and then you have, you know, the Cryptopsy with like the creativity of the writing and the intensity and all that kind of stuff. Like, you know, so it's really cool that Canada is capable of pumping out this like super well written style of death metal, really creative. So very,
usually that's all this like in Quebec, like it's not even any of the other provinces, like it's just it's its own little scene in Quebec, which is sick.
Yeah, so really, yeah, sick album. I definitely think that it's gonna stick around. It'll probably be on many of the year-end lists just because it's so fun and creative, and yeah, really amazing musicians as well. So fuck yeah.
Hell yeah, buddy. Nothing beats it. Go Canada. Okay, right. We're not in Canada anymore. We're gonna skip across the big lake there and go to Austria. One man technical brutal death metal project called Subcutaneous Exsanguination, and their album Eradication Fascination.
I wonder what kind of death metal it is.
I should have started with the title and then tell you to guess what it is. Oh, what a name. So anyways, I with my notes here, I kind of have it like an infomercial. So like, have you or a loved one been feeling angry as of late? Let me introduce you to technical brutal death metal, as it will be the cure to all of life's sorrows. Some side effects may include an addiction to finding heavier and heavier music or increased body odor and body hair. But these side effects are well worth the upside when you get with this music. Oh, because what you're getting with this album is 26 minutes of pure, unadulterated violence, courtesy of like some rapid fire programmed drums, disgusting inhale vocals, and then like there's some, throughout some parts, there's like some raptor-esque sounding vocals, like, you know, the sound that raptors make when they are attacking or something. Like, it sounds like that. It's just like frog gutturals on steroids. Like, I didn't know this was even a thing. Like, crazy. And then like you got like your punchy down tune guitars, and like it's just played with enough ferocity to basically annihilate anyone in their path. Like it's chaos in a bottle is what it is. There's a lot of groovy riffs too, and like kind of some solos laced in there as well, which is kind of atypical of like technical brutal death. Yeah, it's more like what you see in like old school death metal, but it was kind of a nice little change up, and it was kind of a nice touch to like the overall listening experience. So some songs that you can look forward to on this album are Spine Smasher or Carcass Crusher. So they're suited for like every event and situation. You know, you got like a family dinner, you got a funeral, you got bar mitzvah. It's just every situation you can think of. This album is perfect for it. So, you know, if you like Arcrania or you like Visceral Disgorge, then this album is going to be next in your rotation. So, yeah, fuck it up.
I'm going to keep it brutal on my side, and we're going to go to Russia this time. And brutal is spelled BROOOOOOOOOOOOOTAL.
Brutal.
That's the brutal death metal slam band called Insect Inside with their album Reborn in Blight. And first of all, you know that this album's going to be killer when the opening track features a True Detective sample right at the beginning. As soon as I heard it, I'm like, okay, I'm in for a fucking treat.
Yep.
And this album is an absolute Mack truck of brutal technical slam death metal that you'd find in the same grocery aisle as Defeated Sanity, Relics of Humanity, Devourment, Internal Bleeding. There's even some like cryptopsy level technicality, which keeps things pretty interesting. Think caveman, but sophisticated caveman. This caveman, he's hairy, he's got big knuckles, he likes to throw down, but he reads tabs, he understands music theory.
He can inspire. The caveman can inspire.
Yeah. And of course, with this style of death metal, you're always going to have like your super low guttural vocals and your breeze and your frog croaks, but this is like super talented in terms of like the vocal delivery. He's got like, the toilet bowl drain pipe backing up sound vocals, but the toilet sounds that he makes, they're actually quite vast. You have many different styles of flushes. You know, you have like your you have your low flow flush, and you have your like super blast. You know, the handle, push the handle down kind of blast. Yeah, very diverse in terms of toilet bowl vocals. But
you know, when you see like the toilets that have like the two buttons at the top, it's just like pick and choose which one you want.
Yeah. This is more like a smart toilet, bidet, heated seat, all that. Yeah, very sophisticated, and but really really killer. And but yeah, I love the production of this album. That, to me, when I listened to it, I was like, ooh, this mix is like perfect, because sometimes with these brutal death albums, they're so dense that it just sounds like a wall of poop, a wall of sound. But this mix is perfect. You can clearly hear every single instrument. It doesn't matter like how loud or how quiet you're listening to it. The bass is like perfectly situated in the mix. It's forward enough where you can hear all the popping and slapping and noodling, but it's not too forward. It's like right where it needs to be there. And you know, there's some really great features on this album too. They got brutal death metal legends like Josh from Defeated Sanity, delivers a really nasty vocal performance on a song called Hiveborn Abomination. And then there's vocal features from the vocalists from Pathological and Cephalotripsy, which are other brutal death bands. But yeah, overall, it's a great album. I think it's a perfect brutal death, technical slam type album. And yeah, I love all the samples, features. They're perfect. So 10 out of 10.
Absolutely. Can't ask anything more.
Ah.
Okie doke. Now we're that's gonna be the first grindcore band of the day. Courtesy from Illinois, and the band is called Melting Rot, and their album Infatuation with Premeditation. This 3-piece band is kicking ass and taking names. Like, you better not have any ailments before listening to this thing, because you're gonna get fucked up. Like, the second you press that play button, like, you're going ham. So, like, the instrumentation is basically what you'd expect from a grindcore outfit. Like, tons of punchy guitars playing at light speed, the drums riding the hi-hat and the snare harder than a bull rider. Like, there's some beatdown hardcore moments throughout the album as well, which adds a nice change of pace. But again, also grindcore fashion, you're in and out in 17 minutes. Very, very easy to get in and out, but it's just basically like all chaos for that 17 minutes. 2-minute songs, exactly what you need. The vocals are the one thing that are slightly different than like a traditional grindcore album. They have like more like gutturals and kind of like similar to like a brutal death or like a slam band, which is kind of a cool little crossover. Didn't really expect that from grindcore. How I would basically describe this as someone would be if Wormrot and then Sven from Aborted basically had a fucked up baby, then this would be the byproduct of such a vile creation. But you know, you would love to learn that creation with all of your heart, and then over time that you would love it more and more, and then all of a sudden become your favorite thing in the whole world. So that's what you got to do. So if you're like, to paint the picture of this album, this is the one that you need to listen to when you're pissed off at the world. You know, you can slam a white monster and like in the middle of a gas station parking lot, maybe rip a roller dog or two while you're at it, and just, you know, there you go, and just fuck some shit up in the gas station parking lot. So this is kind of absolutely. So that's that kind of album. So it was a sick release.
Nice. All right. For me, I'm taking a bit of a side track here into more progressive territory. So this album, it's a cosmic and progressive melodic black and death metal band from Budapest, Hungary, called Rivers Ablaze, with their album Inexternal Dread. Now, this album serves as the band's 5th full-length album since only 2020. So they've been pumping out the albums in the last 5-6 years, which is crazy. But this is my first time listening to these guys, and holy shit, this album rips. It clocks in at 52 minutes. And it's one of those albums that leaves you wanting more. It's super dynamic. It's very well written. Super interesting. Sonically, it weaves through like blistering fast black metal tremolo picking, really dark and really intense drumming. You have like super fast double kicks and fast blast beats, kind of stereotypical of black metal. But then there's, out of nowhere, there'll just be like a sick bluesy guitar solo happening in the background. You're like, the hell's happening here? But it actually works super well. And the guitar solos on this album are insane. Like, there's even a lot of like melodeath qualities. Like, there's crazy melodeath melodies. The intro track, Silent Orbit, has some really crazy leads on it. And then it breaks into almost like Opeth-esque clean singing, and then like a really beautiful progressive metal part, and then like right back into like blistering black metal. And it's just crazy. It seems like it would be all over the place, but it actually like evolves really beautifully. All of the genre bending elements of this band make for like super catchy, infectious songwriting. Nothing blends together. And a note that I put in here is, who needs the new Garia album when you have shit like this to listen to?
Honestly.
Yeah, this is super fucking good. If you like black metal, if you like, progressive metal, the last two songs, Mirror Trap and Death on Impact, are damn near perfect songs. Death on Impact is a masterpiece in like dissonant death metal. Like, the first half of that song is like really crazy technical disso death, but then out of nowhere the vocalist just flips into like Ozzy Osbourne style clean doom vocals, and you're like, oh my god, I never knew that I needed this until now.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. All I can say is, do yourself a favor, check out this band, listen to the album front to back. Definitely won't be disappointed. It's super good.
Sick. Yeah, that one was a banger also.
Mm-hmm.
Banger from Budapest. Okay, I'm kind of staying in the same lane somewhat. This band called Winterfylleth, and their album The Unyielding Season. If you haven't heard of them, black metal band from England, and surprisingly enough, this was like one of my favorite black metal releases of the whole month. They've been around for a while though, been around for 19 years, and this is their 9th full-length release. First time I've ever listened to any of their material. So it appears they basically have no signs of slowing down. Essentially, they're releasing an album every 2 years, so you know that these guys are obviously doing something right if they're around for that long. How I would describe this band to someone that hasn't listened to them before is, it's like if black gaze was more black and less gaze, if that makes sense. Like, should they have like the atmospheric post-metal shoegaze type of ambience, but like the vocals and instrumentals are more dark and brooding than typical black gaze albums. Like, it's just, it's like Death Heaven more blackened, if I would put it that way. Which I do appreciate the extra ambience from time to time, because it does help eliminate some of that listening fatigue I find with a lot of black metal albums. It just seems to be really dense, and then especially if you're playing the same thing for like 50 minutes or something like that, it's like, okay, like you're looking at your watch thinking, okay, when is this album going to be over type deal. But it seems to be very, very original in that sense. The vocals on this album are like super great as well. Like, the screams don't feel like they're stretched out. or high pitched. They still pack a huge punch, which is awesome for black metal to have that that kind of edge. But then like the mixing is very, very crisp on it too. Like all the layers of the instrumentations, you can hear everything too. I believe they're a 5-piece band. But like again, everything still shines, everything comes through very nicely. But again, you're still keeping that edge over everything, which is awesome. And then the other thing with this album that I found was awesome was just like, I think the runtime was over an hour, and kind of back to that listening fatigue thing. It was just like, you could listen to this album for, I bet you, an hour and a half, and it just, every song felt like its own journey. It felt original, and it's just like, it never left me, wondering when things were going to end. It was just all kind of, it was very, very melodic, very transcending in a sense. So, which was, kind of a nice surprise. So, a couple bands that are similar. One is a band called Drukt, and then I think they're releasing an album coming up this month. And then, another band from England called Fen. Very, very similar. So if you haven't checked out that album, then I'd recommend highly to do so.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'll say I've never listened to so much black metal in my life, but at first I was like, okay, I want to dip my toe into the black metal water. And because I like personally other things that are blackened, like blackened death metal is like my favorite. Obviously, like dissonant death metal, it's a lot of black metal leanings to it, and blackened hardcore. So, but I've never gone full deep dive, like, black metal or atmospheric black metal or anything. I've just never kind of found an interest until like maybe even late last year even, and now I'm like, oh, it's so good. It's and it helps when you're listening to so much like death metal, brutal death metal, grindcore, stuff like that. It helps to kind of cleanse the palate, especially with the more atmospheric stuff.
Yeah, which actually I don't mind that. I thought like you would think that it would be weird or that it wouldn't work together, but somehow it does. Because some bands that just do such a good job at it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
We need like a Spotify wrap for like subgenres. Be like, okay, you listen to X number of hours of black metal, you listen X number of hours of hardcore, you listen to X number of hours of death metal. That'd be kind of to see.
Interesting to see. Yeah. Okay, so for my next one, this is a super interesting one. So, still in the progressive, technical, death metal kind of, Isle of Canadian Tire, but this band, first of all, they look like they're fucking 13 years old. If you go on the metal archives for this band, look at the picture. I'm like, oh my god, these guys are either 12 or 13 years old, or they have like Benjamin Buttoned. They're like OG death metal musicians that have like come back or like reverse aged somehow. But I listened to this and I'm like, okay, the kids are gonna be all right, it's such a great album. And at first I was like, what is this? It's a little bit raw, it's a little bit kind of unpolished, but you have to listen to it because it's amazing. The band is called Barn and the album is called Crucibles.
Mm-hmm.
No matter behind the curtain, the answer may never be found. May never be
And these guys play, it's like technical, progressive, old school death metal, thrash kind of vibe. They're from Boise, Idaho. This is their third full-length album. So I guess they were 3 years old when they put out their first album.
With like one of those little kid drum sets, like the ones you buy from Canadian Tire. That was the first one.
Yeah, but it's seriously really, really good. If you like bands like, okay, a more progressive leaning side, bands like Desiderium, which is funny because they have a song called Desiderium, or Light Dweller, Atheist, but then you have like a lot of the chaos, the technicality, the mathy elements of bands like, you know, the early Red Chord, or like the first two Between the Buried and Me albums. If you like that kind of vibe, including the raw production, then you'll really enjoy this album. That's the first thing I noticed, which at first I was kind of like a little bit like, what is this? It has like a really raw and unpolished sound, but then after you feed into it a little bit more and you listen to it, you kind of get it. It's exactly what they're going for. And it gives it like this really cool live quality to it, where it's very much realistic. Everything is like real. There's no overproduced anything. It's literally the least pretentious thing out there. And if you like the early Faceless albums, you know, like Akeldama, or like the first two Between the Buried and Me albums, and you'll really enjoy this one. I listened to this album at the gym, and I found myself like headbanging and grooving. The other people at the gym were probably like, what the fuck is this kid on? And it was all old people in the gym at the same time as me, so they were just kind of staring at me, but it was all good.
Do a little shimmy shake in between your sets.
Yeah, it definitely helped like crush my workout. I hit some pretty crazy PRs. I lifted the heaviest leg day I've ever had listening to that. Cool. But yeah, it's an album that I feel like it's slept on. But it's, kids are really talented musicians. I love just like the different blends of, you know, progressive, technical, death metal, old school death metal, the thrashy elements, kind of like the more mathcore-esque kind of like, you know, guitars, the, you know, crazy like pace changes and tempo shifting kind of shit going on. The drumming is actually really good. It's just a fun album. So.
It kind of reminded me of that Cryptic Shift album that came out.
Yeah, a little bit
earlier too. Just look, I think there's more album or more bands that are implementing thrash in like progressive style of music, which I haven't heard of that in years past. So this could be a new trend that's kind of coming about. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, it's good for the tempos, right? Like it keeps things like fun and fast and interesting, and
strap in.
Yeah. Strap on, baby.
Strap on and go into the barn.
I wonder if barn is an acronym for something, or if it's like,
I bet you it's like their initials or something like that. Their the initials of the first name or something. Oh.
Reborn in a barn.
Oh yeah, all four of them went to school in the barn or something. That was their. Oh, we'll find that out. We'll report back.
Good.
Cap.
Sweet.
Okie doke. Another banger of a release. From a one-man blackened thrash and speed project called Hellripper and their album Coronach. Now, I have not heard of Hellripper before this album, though then this was like an introductory album for me, and I don't think that there could have been a better album that was my first listen other than this one. Like, it was so good. Like, imagine if you take the speed of Motorhead, but then you paired it with European black metal flair of like a Mayhem or a Celtic Frost. Then you left with this masterpiece that the artist, his name is James McBain, has essentially created and brought to life. Like, the vocals and the overall ambience of this album has like this haze over top of it too that makes it like feel fuzzy and crispy. Kind of makes you feel like you're being thrown back to like the 80s and the 90s and listening to like releases in that age of year, but with modern, obviously to replicate it with modern production is so cool. The one thing that I think I loved the most about this album though was the use of the solos. Like, there was like, the solos were reminiscent of like an 80s glam metal or like a thrash metal, which kind of makes the black metal portion of the album feel less boring and didn't seem repetitive or mundane, because you're thinking it's going to be a pure, maybe a black and roll type album, and then they throw in these solos in there and you think, oh, this has no business being in here, but it actually turns out to be pretty good. Back to the things I didn't know that I needed. I didn't know I needed solos and black and thrash music, but apparently I do. And then the names of the songs are hilarious too. Like, the album's gonna be good when one of the song titles is called Black Satanic Fuckstorm. Like, it's just, you can't help but laugh. It's just that good.
Yeah.
But like, I know Metal Trenches, when he did his favorite albums of March, this was high up there for him, and it deserves all the recognition that it's getting. It's such a dynamic and powerful album. Even for like non-hardcore black metal fans, I think this is one that was like, it should be in everyone's to listen list, if not already listened to. Yeah, it's one that you gotta check out. I think one of the best in March. So
sick.
Mm-hmm.
That was a killer fucking ass beater of an album. Ass ripper.
Oh yeah, rip some ass. Stinky.
All right, I'm still in the progressive territory, but this next project album is the final boss of progressive, technical, black, and death metal. This is the final boss.
Final boss.
If you're playing a video game, made it to the final level, this is who you got to beat in order to win the game, to finish the game. And it is Bekor Qilish with Consecrated Abysses of Dread. So in my notes, I have who up Qilish and they Bekor.
Everyone should be Qilishing up their Bekor.
So this album is hella cosmic, progressive, black metal, death metal. It's got like crazy dark wave, synth wave kind of vibes to it. But this is one of like the coolest things I've ever heard. It's a solo project by a multi-instrumentalist and Italian singer named Andrea Brazzoni. And this is his third full length, and it's incredible. I think this will be on many, many, many album of the year lists this year for the discerning, black metal and avant-garde ears out there. The songwriting, the sheer technicality of this album is just fucking jaw-dropping. You're listening to it and you're like, this person is an alien. This is not a human being playing this shit. It's just so fast, so technical. There's so many things going on. It is definitely not for like your easy listeners, but it is super fun. It's something that you can go back to and you can catch something different every single time. You have like insanely fast drumming, blast beats, double kick, the crazy fast tremolo picking. I'm like, Jesus, man. That guy's got like a robotic arm. I don't know how you pick that fast. Then you have like crazy sweeping guitars and like really fast bass lines, crazy pace changes, angular riffing that's just like fucking all over the place. It's like bees swarming. But then you have these quieter moments of like almost like an ascending cosmic synth atmosphere, some clean guitar soloing. I made a note that said this band is like if Artificial Brain had a baby with Cynic. It's like crazy progressive and technical, but then just like super angular, dissonant, and like skronky and fucking weird. And then the vocals, he has sections where he screams and he does like deeper gutturals, but for the most part, it's like a croak singing. It's very alien. It's nothing like you really anybody would be like super familiar with. But incredibly talented musician, and yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal. And I think the album was recorded at the studio of there's another multi-instrumentalist who is behind a project called Vertebra Atlantis. And he has another album coming out this year under a different project name. I just can't remember his name right now. But also an amazing artist. But I was watching like some of the in-studio videos of this guy like recording, like tracking his stuff, and he's just such a crazy musician.
And for one person is insane too.
Yeah. Like you listen to it and then you're like, this is one guy. Like how do you write that? And then like, I don't know. It's just so creative and like so cool and unique and fun and yeah, crazy. But
simple as that. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, that's it for my review. It's fucking amazing. You gotta listen to it.
That's all you have to do is just basically say this is the album to listen to, and then just let people figure it out on their own. That's all you need to do. It's mic drop.
Oh,
sick. Okay, I'll just keep her going here. The band called Teratoma and their album Longing Voracity. These guys are just a pure death metal band from Germany. But I think this one might be the most harrowing tone-wise out of the entire month of March for death metal. Like it has like this hollowness and roundness that you'd find in like doom metal, but then things are played in like a quote death metal style with like tremolo guitars and like short and chaotic guitar solos and deep and powerful vocals. Like it's kind of a match made in heaven, in my opinion. Like the vocals are probably the one item in this band that could relate to doom metal, and they're like very deep and hollow as well. Match the tone of the instruments, and it kind of fuses the world between doom and death metal together. Like you feel like you're in a dungeon somewhere listening to death metal through like the door of a cave, if that makes sense. Like the speakers on the opposite side of the door, so then like there's like this weird reverberating sound through it. Like you have to listen to the album to understand it, but you'll get it. Like the overall ambience of the album is like very dark and dungy. I never felt like the band was trying to use the sledginess though as like a cop out. which I think a lot of people do. They just use it as an excuse for sloppy playing or something like that. Or to play like boring or unoriginal riffs. That wasn't the case that I found, and they kind of added to a nice layer of original songwriting, which was made the album more enjoyable. So I think if you like other sludgy death metal bands such as like Immolation or like early Carcass, then I think this album will be right up your alley. So can't say nothing more. Just go spin it.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting into the filthy, disgusting, absolutely vile death metal now with a band called Cryptworm with their album Infectious, Pathological Waste. This album is grotesque, it's gory, it's vile, and these guys are from the UK. Right from the artwork, right from the opening track, you know exactly what the fuck you're getting in for. You got instantly wet, gurgling, regurgitating, infected, husk-filled vocals that sound like the Swamp Thing is coming up for air. And the guitars and the bass are putting on an absolute riff clinic. And the tone is super nasty. It's got crazy low end, really aggressive, really punchy. Songwriting is super groovy, similar to like Autopsy or like early Cannibal Corpse, Morbid Angel, that kind of vibe. And I'll say I inserted Stank Face many times during this album. It's like super stompy, really catchy hooks, but it's really furious and really vicious and really thrashy as well in the delivery. And all I can say is this is what old school death metal is supposed to be. Scary, gory, groovy, straight to the point, heavily infectious, and highly re-listenable, which is easy to do with this album because it's only a 35-minute runtime. So just put it on and you'll be like, what the fuck? It's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
And I know the artwork is super like gory and offensive, but I will say the colors are awesome. I love like the green and the orangey red, and like it just pops. It looks so good.
Mm-hmm. You know that Staples button, that big red button?
That was easy.
Yeah, we need that, but with Stank Face.
Yeah,
and just it makes a fart sound every time that you that you press it.
Stank Face alert. Yeah, exactly.
Patent pending. We'll come up with a better idea than that.
Yeah, real heavy, Stank Face approved.
Yep. Oh, good stuff. Okay. Another technical brutal death metal band coming up here. But these guys, there's members from UK, US, Czechia, and Switzerland. 4-piece band, 1 member per country. The band's called Delirious Compulsion, and their album Eratinum of Dysphoria. Now, sometimes you just need like one of those albums to essentially put a smile on your face. And to me, this was the album to do that, because like there was so much to smile about. It was awesome. I think this album focuses more on like the brutal side of brutal technical death metal than the technical side. But you still, like, the technical side still comes out, like poking its head around the corner. Like, you still got some crazy sweep picking, intricate riffs, like noodly bass tones, and basically more double kicks than you can shake a stick at. Like it's a beautiful composition of music. It's awesome. The songwriting is also super impressive too. While it is basically pure musical annihilation for 34 minutes, it's all it is. They do a lot of pace changes throughout the album too. They incorporate a lot of like groove and rhythm and everything to the album too, which I think adds to the listening experience and make things feel more dynamic, which is awesome. Production feels super raw and genuine, like late 2000s technical, like tech brutal death type style, which is neat that they could bring that back in modern form, and especially making sure like the super crisp and clear format and like the programming and everything was still at the forefront, but you still have like the grimy and gross kind of layer over top of everything in like post-production that was just, it's still there, which is pretty awesome. Because obviously that's what we come to know and love with real tech death. You got to have some stinking some slime in there, or else it wouldn't be what it is. So if you like Deeds of Flesh, you like Little Defeated Sanity, like that groove and those pace changes and everything, then this will be the boys that you got to check out. So solid album.
Sick. All right, the cavemen are performing witchcraft again.
Ooh,
better stop them. They're performing rituals. We got Casket Mush with their album Evocation of Paranoia. This is a death grind, gore grind, death metal band from Whittier, California. And if you are into gravity blast beats, that tin can snare tone, disgusting Sanguisugabog-esque down-tuned guitar, and vocals that sound like Satan himself is shitting into a Home Depot bucket, and you'll love this album. This is not just your run-of-the-mill gore grind album. It has a lot of substance, a stinky pus-filled substance that sticks to your brain. It burrows its way in there. It's highly infectious. And I found that when I put it on, the second that I put it on, I couldn't stop listening to it, because the thing that hooked me right away was the guitar tone. And I was like, ooh, I like that. You know, it's got that Sangwa Boogerbog vibe to it, but then you hear the fucking snare pop, and then you're like, oh, I like that. And then you hear the the vocals, and you're like, oh, this is gonna be poopy in a good way. But yeah, it's got some crazy like early Morbid Angel autopsy level groove, super impressive drumming, really great drumming. And it even has like sprinklings of some Death Doom in there as well that create this like ominous atmospheric vibe. And there's a really creepy as hell interlude called Hymns from the Abyss that helps to set the tone for like the rest of the album. It's just filthy and swampy and like murky. It's one of those albums that you listen to it, it's really infectious, you get through it, and you're like, man, I should have had the hot water going because I need a shower. You know, it's really dirty, but it's so good. It was kind of like a super underground find that I found. I can't even remember who posted it on what, but I'm like, oh, the cover art looks pretty freaking crazy. It's like a bunch of like naked cavemen laying around like satanic ritual star inside of like a flesh-filled forest or cave or something like that. Well, I'm like, that's crazy.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, but so good.
Nothing more to say?
Nothing more to say. That's it.
Oh, you should have led off with that with that album cover. You like, we need to have like a game. We gotta have guess the band, style of band based off of the name, and guess the style of band based off of what the album cover looks like.
Yeah,
That'd be kind of fun because that would be exactly what you'd expect from Gorgard. That's kind of fun.
but we'd have to like blank out every single album cover for YouTube, or else we'd get.
And I don't think people who are listening to this on Spotify, you're not gonna be able to see it. So how would they know?
Yeah, exactly. Describe it. We were looking at a disemboweled body with organs. This podcast is sponsored by Iron Image Barbell Club. Iron Image is located in Selkirk, Manitoba. It is the gym of choice for moi. It offers a whole host of fitness equipment. Your classic bodybuilding gym equipment. If you like to lift heavy things and listen to heavy-ass fucking music, then Iron Image is the place for you. They also offer spin classes and yoga, group fitness classes, or high-intensity cardio classes, if you're into that sort of thing. I enjoy going to the gym, lifting heavy shit while I listen to heavy-ass music. If you enjoy that as well, then you have to check out Iron Image Barbell Club. They are fucking awesome.
I got a death metal / sludge metal band from Philly called Moros in their album Cemetery Hallucinations. I have a fun fact for you. When Kit Kat was deciding what to name their new Kit Kat Chunky, they originally were going to call it Kit Kat Moros, with how chunky and thick the band was. But Moros said no because nothing is as chunky and thick as them. So Kit Kat had to settle for chunky, and I guess it turned out all right for them for right now. But chunky and thick are like the two adjectives that perfectly describe this album. Basically, right from the first stroke of the pick, you feel that sound just like coursing through your veins. Like, it's such an infectious sound. Like, you can't help yourself but just bang your head along to the music. Like, the album has some modern death metal and like some sludge and doom elements too, to try and get like that push and pull dynamic with the two subgenres, and it keeps you on your toes for sure. The bass and rest of the guitars have a good yin and yang relationship as well. The mixing is fantastic. Like, just so that like that disgusting bass line does not get lost in the mixing at all. It cuts through like a knife. It's basically like a wall of mud essentially, and you hear everything. It's awesome. Drums are thunderous and expansive. Helps to cut through some of the sludginess a little bit as well, which is nice. It doesn't get lost in the mixing either. So, like, again, certainly helps you to put a smile on your face. So, you know, if you like sludgy and doom layered death metal bands like Autopsy, Coffins, but a little bit more pace, then Moros is going to be your new favorite band. So check them out.
Sick. Yeah, that was a great album.
Mm-hmm.
Good little slept on album.
Good little surprise.
Yeah. Okay. Next up I got a brutal and chaotic death metal death grind band from India. Called Virode, with their album Harvest of Desolation. I think I'm pronouncing Virode. It's Virode, or it's probably Virode.
Right.
This is another album this month that also has like a really raw and unpolished production, which has like a really great old school death metal quality, which I'm always here for. I love when instruments sound real and not like overproduced or overpolished. And if you know anything about me and my music tastes. I like the most chaotic and unhinged, avant-garde, dissonant, nasty shit imaginable. So naturally, this album would be right up my alley because it perfectly blends technical and almost like mathcore adjacent grindcore elements from bands like Bodies in the Gears of the Apparatus or Fuck the Facts, or even like early Lord Worm era Cryptopsy. It's got like brutal groove, super fast-paced guitars, similar to like Dying Fetus, or and it has like twisting and off-kilter, chaotic and dissonant style playing like early Gorguts, or even like modern day Replicant, which is another band that I really love. But overall, this album is like a blunt force trauma to the front of your face. It's meant to be played super loud. It's really pissed off the whole time. There's no like letting up with it. It takes no prisoners. Yeah, and it's just a great album if you're looking to fuck shit up or get pumped up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And they're from India. I feel like we haven't had a lot or many Indian bands.
No. But like, isn't Transcending Obscurity based off of India or from India?
Yeah, I think the owner, the guy who runs it, I believe he lives there.
Which I'm surprised that there's not more releases from them.
Yeah.
Considering that they are from India, but I don't know. Maybe down the pipe they'll have some stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of Transcending Obscurity, we got another Transcending Obscurity release with the black/death metal band from Greece called Decipher and their album Dilemma. Like I mentioned, another banger Transcending Obscurity release. I feel like they've done such a great job at promoting so many great underground bands in the game, and I don't think these guys are any exception. Like, there simply must be something on the water in Greece, because like the Greeks know how to create some insane black metal, which is crazy, and like black metal adjacent albums, and basically pack a punch, no stone unturned. The overall vibe of this album is like a true hybrid between death metal and black metal. Like, you get the black metal tremolo picking and the blackened chords, but not played at like a typical black metal speed, if that makes sense. Like, the drums still ride the hi-hats and the cymbals hard, and even them, they're changing them up too, pace change wise and things like that, which kind of makes it a little bit more progressive in some senses. Even some black and roll influence in there as well, so it's kind of a nice change up. The vocals kind of more standard death metal style, bit more hollow and like projectile sound with like the odd growl from time to time, try and spice things up a little bit, which is pretty nice. Overall energy is like, it doesn't let up at all. Like, it's a 40-minute runtime, and like it's going balls to the wall the whole time. So like, if you're kind of, you know, wanting to spin this thing, basically brace up for it, because you're gonna be in for a hell of a ride. So if you're looking for album that like just won't quit and showcases basically everything that black and death metal have to offer, then Thelma is gonna be next up, because yeah, it's gonna be showing you a little bit of everything. So
Sweet.
Got nothing else more to say.
Nice. So this next one for me is probably the crossover thrash album of the year. It's a band called Zera with their album Rotting on a Golden Throne. And these guys are a German crossover thrash band, and this is their fourth full-length album, and it's my first introduction to this band. I got drawn in right away from the artwork, and man, I'm fucking glad that I started listening to this, because speaking of like gym bangers, I threw this album on at the gym and I was hitting PRs left, right, and center that day. This album is such a freaking pump up vibe. It's crazy. It's like taking a pre-workout that never lets up. It's just like nonstop. It has like this super kinetic feel to it. It's so full of energy. You know, you can put this album on anytime, anywhere, and you're guaranteed to get wrecked. And then one thing I put in my notes is, don't listen to this if you don't like riffs, because this album will rip your head clean off with the ferocious nature of these riffs. Think of bands like Power Trip, Municipal Waste, early Exodus, and even like a lot of that early classic Bay Area thrash kind of style. But it has the classic crossover hooks, the crazy like gang vocals, big soaring leads, tons of pinch harmonics, whammy bar, dive bombs, like literally all over the place. It's so good. And the fun thing about this album is like, no one is going into it thinking that they're going to reinvent the wheel. There's no, like, if you're looking for innovation, don't think you're going to get a ton of innovation here, but definitely come to this album if you want perfection and you want to get your fucking head kicked in, because this album is like, my God, like, this band was playing live, it would be a scary experience, I think, being in that pit.
It'd be a big boy and old boy pit.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there'd be jean jackets everywhere. There would be patches flying. You'd have, like, there's such a pump up sound and like party sound. And you'd have like the innocent people that are like, oh, this is fun. And then they just get absolutely squished, you know, in the pit. It's just, yeah, it's such a vibe. It's so fun. And I love, like, obviously these guys have been around for a while, but I love the kind of like 80s, 90s, like thrash sound that is coming back, like you said, in such a big way, in hardcore, in death metal, like technical death metal, everything. It's like, we back, baby.
Oh yeah,
so good.
And like
this is like
cool.
Yeah, this is like the Exodus album that they should have. They should
have released.
Yeah.
Ouch, burn.
Puts it to shame.
Absolutely, this is the thrash metal album of the year.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Sick. Okay, I got another death doom band for us here from Michigan. This band's called Temple of Void, and their album The Crawl. These fellows are from Detroit, and they're back again with another great release, and I'm here for their style of death doom. Like, it's doomier in the atmosphere and ambience of like the background noise itself than less so in the instrumentation. So you have like these layers of death and like in doom metal elements coming together, which they go together like eggs and cheese. Like, they're just the perfect combination. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the guitars aren't like all up in your face doom like. Doesn't mean like they don't have any filthy guitar tones or anything like that. It's just like they still possess that bite and everything like that you'd expect from a death metal album, and a little bit of that gross tone too. But it's just like, it's not all or nothing. Essentially, it's kind of has some balance to it, if that makes sense. But then and take that guitar tone and like pair that with some harmonizing leads and like slow and chunky riffs, and like you just got yourself a serious hearty metal sandwich. Like it's just one you want to bite down on and just take it all in. Songwriting also feels really original. No song feels like it's been played over once before already, or doesn't seem to be repetitive or mundane. It just, each listen feels different, which is awesome and refreshing. So like this is the album that you're looking for if you're looking for some death metal riffage that just has a little bit of an edge to it, you know, a little bit more creative flair than like your standard run-of-the-mill death metal album. Maybe some, like I mentioned, some doomier parts in there too, but it's not like the only thing that is showcased in the album. So you like Hood Menace, you like Vastum, you like Rune Magic, then these are some of the bands that will, you know, tickle your fancy if you like those styles. So check them out.
Sick.
Ever sick.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Next up, we're getting into a bit of black metal territory here, but a very interesting album. I wasn't sure if I should include this in this video or in the everything else video, but I figured it has enough black metal in it to put it in here. It's a band called Rosa Fineskap with their album Ingenting Forblir. And this is a post-black metal band from Oslo, Norway. It's another example of like, you live in such a beautiful place, yet you fucking drum up this evil music, you know? But this music is so interesting because it's like the new wave of black metal that perfectly blends so many other genres. Like, so first of all, I love how, like you mentioned, a lot of people are doing black gaze, more atmospheric post-black metal that kind of adds another layer of depth and creativity to the black metal sound. This is like another step further. It's like these guys are, you can tell they're true Norwegian black metal kids, but they blend in a lot of like screamo, crust punk, hardcore, and even like post metal. Like there are some parts to this album where I'm like, am I listening to Gojira right now? Like how is it that I just listened to like the most evil and like brooding atmospheric black metal, and then it shifted into like black gaze, uplifting, and then now it's like post-hardcore, and now it's like Gojira breakdown. Like what has happened? It's like groove metal all of a sudden. What's going on? But they blend it all so well, and it's just so, it's like both parts gorgeous and beautiful and melodic and also belligerently heavy. So it's very progressive in that sense. It's just like the songwriting is like very forward moving and stuff like that, but there's like so many layers of going on and so many like these little subgenres that they're pulling on and stuff like that, these little threads, and you're like, man, this is so cool. And it like fuses all my favorite things together, kind of thing. But it's a band and an album that I'll definitely be like listening to a lot, and I think it'll end up on the year-end list somewhere. I'm not sure where, but it was a huge surprise for me. And like all of the album, title of the album, and all the, I think the lyrics are in Norwegian, and like the album or the song titles as well. But yeah, it's just really good, really great songwriting, and very interesting. I like interesting.
I mean, who doesn't like interesting?
Yeah. So yeah,
Sick. On the 50 album long year-end list that will TBD in December.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do like death metal, black metal, and then we'll figure it out. But like,
yeah, this might be like a 4-part album of the year. Like
such a crazy year for music.
Yeah.
So
we'll figure it out then. That'll be awesome.
All right, let's keep her rocking here.
Keep her rocking. Got 4 more each. Got a death metal band from Florida here. Absolute legends in monstrosity, and their album Screamed from Beneath the Surface.
Aloft with dreams and soaring tides through the fires, breathing restless fumes, engaged by the acrid trenching heat.
35 plus years later, these guys are still rocking. Released their 7th full-length album, first one in 8 years, and like it didn't disappoint one bit. The one thing I loved about like these old school death metal bands, and I've mentioned about this before, is how they have the experience and the knowledge of how to write good death metal songs, but with modern production. It's just, you have some of the newer bands, they don't have that same style, they don't have like the same rhythm, they don't understand what it takes, but these guys know what's up because they've been around all the legends of the game 30 plus years ago, and they just create some insane songs. They're hooky, they're like catchy, everything that you want in a good death metal song, they've got it. So it's pretty awesome. Like they're not like I'd say like they're the grandpas of the genre. They're like, you know what, we'll take you under our wing, we'll show you what's up, listen to this album, basically this is the formula that you need to copy type deal. But like this album's full of rhythm, full of speed, good song structure, leads are tight and original, vocals are like incredibly powerful, and like pairs super well with like the brutality of the instrumentation. I think they brought in a new vocalist in like 2021 or something, so like it's not the original vocalist, but again, still brings the brutality, which is awesome. Throughout the album, I found myself enjoying the album more and more. Like I didn't feel like things were, becoming stale or unoriginal. Each song had a purpose in like the overall development of the album too, which I think is kind of an underrated feature that a lot of bands do, but not a lot of listeners actually take into account. So then that was pretty awesome. It made it very enjoyable listen. So if you haven't for some reason listened to these guys before, but you're wanting to kind of expand the death metal space, you like Deicide, Immolation, Morbid Angel, then if you fuck with those guys, then you should definitely rep Monstrosity. So yeah, keep it up.
Sweet. Oh yeah. OGs. Okay, I got a band from Grand Rapids, Michigan, that play a very modern style of technical death metal. It's a band called No Susception, and their album is called Cognitive Dismemberment. I listened to this album, the artwork I thought was awesome. And I'm like, oh, this looks cool. And definitely didn't disappoint. It kind of has a similar vibe to like that Xenobiotic type of, modern progressive technical death metal. This album and band is a little bit more on the brutal side of things. It's a little bit tighter. It's like really sharp. It's like really, really well written, well crafted songwriting. But it's also like very heavy, very brutal. It's definitely American death metal. Like if you like Fit for an Autopsy, if you like Ablaze or Cognitive, you'd really like this album, this band. It's kind of like that really kind of modern, gym. It's great for the gym, really aggressive. You have like the dissonant atmosphere, dark and foreboding, and then you have like the super wide ranging vocal style, lows, mid-range, highs. It adds a lot of like personality and depth to the music. It keeps things interesting. But yeah, it was like very surprising album, pleasant surprise for me. And then yeah, I'm excited to keep tabs on this band because I've never heard of this band before, and yeah, I thought it was really, really good album. So
nothing much more to say. Keeping it simple,
short and sweet. If you like Inferi, if you like Unhallowed Deliverance, that kind of vibe, then you'll dig this.
Sick.
Sweet.
Okay, I'm going to style a band haven't mentioned yet so far today. Big HM2 driven band, except these guys are a death metal band from Italy called Necrogore, and their album Ectoplasmic Rape Phenomena. Great album again.
Yeah.
But again, if you've been kind of lacking with your HM2 death metal fix, then these are the guys that are gonna solve that for you. They huge high octane album, basically balls to the wall the full time. Like it's awesome. Like they're death metal through and through, essentially. Like from that old school death metal, Swedish tone, speed, gore-ridden lyrics, song titles, the powerful vocals that will essentially shake anyone down to their core. Like it's all death metal and nothing else is what you're gonna get. In my opinion, though, it's the guitar tone that makes this album. Like it just feels extra grimy and gross. Kind of makes your hair on the back of your neck stand up on end. It's exactly how death metal is supposed to feel. So it's just, what you're getting when you're ripping this thing. There aren't too many creative parts in this album that kind of veer away from like that typical Swedish death metal blueprint, in my opinion. But like what you mentioned a couple albums ago, like so you don't need to do something out of the box all the time. It's just like there's some people who just like the style and they're just looking for a new band to discover or something like that. And it's just, you don't need something experimental to make it good, if that makes sense. So it's just, again, basically Swedish death metal coming out of Italy is what you're getting. So, huge Paganizer and huge Nomenon vibes in this album. So if those bands are up your alley, then yeah, Necrocore is going to be right for you. So check them out.
Sick. All right, I'm taking a turn here. We're going into some post-black metal territory. This is a band called The Silver with their album Looking Glass, Hymnal Blue. This is their sophomore album, second full-length album. Definitely not your typical black metal band. These guys are from Philadelphia. This album is like super interesting. It's very progressive. It still has like those black metal shrieks and screams with like the tremolos and the blast beats and stuff like that. But there's more dynamics in this album. There's more clean singing, reminiscent of like later era Opeth. There's like a goth rock influence. There's like even like a straight up heavy metal influence with this album. It has a very expressive, cinematic, almost like a theatrical sound to it. It has like these huge emotional peaks and valleys, dynamic transitions between like calm and high intensity. There's a huge emphasis on melody, atmosphere, emotion. It's not just like nonstop aggressive blasting and grinding guitars. I feel like this album would be like a perfect gateway album to edge people into black metal or like heavy metal in general. It's fairly approachable in that sense, yet it's not a simple listen. Like, it's very complex. The arrangements are like very technical. The songs are kind of like a fine wine. It kind of like evolves and changes over time rather than just like repeat riffs, over and over again, which is super cool. And it's what makes it like kind of more on the proggy side. But yeah, I listened to it. I'm like, man, these guys, they absolutely fuck. Like, they first class musicianship, top tier songwriting. But it still has that like that essential black metal kind of foundation to it. But yeah, really interesting listen. Typically would never have been in my wheelhouse, but I'm glad that I listened to it. So
that's the one thing I love about like basically us just throwing everything in all of our playlists, is just because you don't know what's gonna be good. You basically give everything a shot, and then you don't know what's gonna be on the other side of things. So kind of get surprised every once in a while.
Yeah, surprise in the eyes.
Exactly, in the eyes and the ass. Okay, I got a couple more bands, both in the similar vein. This one's a slamming brutal death metal band from Germany. The band's called Incongruous, and their album Whiteout. Now, like, if you're feeling a little down the dumps, you're feeling a little sad, you might have to go to your doctor and get a prescription for some high octane shit, and then he might prescribe you with this album to try and cure all of your wonders, which it'll do. It'll cure cancer. You heard it here first. It's 23 minutes, high octane, real death metal with like elements of slam, simplistic deathcore, a little bit of grindcore elements in it as well. It's just essentially a hodgepodge of heaviness is what it is. Throughout the album, you're finding like a ton of crispy pinch harmonics, slow, disgusting breakdowns, and like some vocals so nasty you can find them down the same aisle as the toilets in Home Depot. Like, they're just like one of those accessories that you just throw in the cart afterwards. They're just yuck. It's awesome. These guys, very reminiscent of like Ingested, Vulvodynia, Acrania. Believe it or not, those are two separate bands. There's Acrania and Incongruous, so don't get those two mixed up. But it's like, the intensity of deathcore times 100, and you feel for your life every single time that you listen to this album. It's just, shivers down your spine. So I think it's just perfect album for the whole family. Can't go wrong. Can't say that much more. It's just that good. Check her out.
Open a portal in your living room, push grandma in.
Yeah, that's what she needs.
Crowd kill.
She doesn't need any more meds. She just needs slamming brutal death.
Oh man. Okay, I've got another Canadian progressive avant-garde kind of technical death metal band. These guys are from Vancouver. The band is called Evergrowing, with their album It Echoes in the Wild. And this album is very wild, very, very wild. leave it up to Canada to produce this type of fucking insanity. This is probably so this album came out on 20 bucks spin. It is probably the weirdest, most unique band on the label, I would say. But it's so good. This project features members of Mitochondrion, Acreos Expanse, and it's super avant-garde black death metal project. If you like bands like Absu, Ulthar, Mitochondrion, Cryptic Shift, I got huge Cryptic Shift vibes, especially with that new album that came out. Bands like Devoid of Thought, even Blood Incantation, you'll really love this. It's the perfect blend of black metal, thrash. There's some hair metal. One of the vocalists hits these crazy high, like hair metal clean vocals, which actually works really well with this kind of music because it's just so, you're like, of course you would just hit those highs. Yeah, why not? Sure.
Yeah, just show off a little bit.
Yeah. But it's like super twisting, turning, occult death metal, much like the new Gutvoid album that I talked about previously in this video. Also another Canadian band, which proves my point about how crazy Canadian bands are. This album just has so many subgenres that are jammed into this band's sound, but it makes for like a really fun and enjoyable listen that has a lot of twists and turns, really keeps things interesting. I also love the production on this album, which is another theme of this month. It seems like a lot of folks are doing raw production. It has like a real live quality to it, makes it sound real. Like if the drummer fucks up, let's say the double kick is not perfectly timed, well, it's obviously not triggered, and but that's awesome. I love that because it's like it adds to the human experience with it. So that's kind of the vibe that I get with it. But there's a dual vocal approach going on. The vocalist, there's crazy tempo changes, shifting stylistic pivots with the instrumentation, super textured and layered, and yet you listen to it and you're like, man, there's so much going on, but it still feels cohesive. And the name is in the title. It echoes in the wild. Like it is a wild fucking album. But it's something that you need to do yourself a favor, and you need to put it on and listen to it front to back, because you'll fully immerse yourself in the experience, because it's not just a metal album. It's not like another, death metal album. It's an experience that you have to take and enjoy the ride. So whether you need to do that by like just listening to it, or maybe you smoke a joint and you lay back and you fucking put it on, either way, it's highly enjoyable. Really good album.
Sick. That's what you need. Sometimes it's just we can't do it justice. We just gotta say, put it on and listen to it. So I think that's one of those ones where we gotta do that. So
Shia.
Yeah. Okay, last one. Another brutal death metal band. This time they're from Indiana. Band's called Protrusion, and their album The Last Separation. And that it makes sense, because if you look at the album cover, it might be one of the coolest album covers in all of March. Because I think, what did I write? It looks like the scene of the Last Supper, but Jesus is crucified in the middle with skeletons all around him. Like, it's badass, and it just matches the overall vibe and aesthetic of the album. Like, it's awesome. I would classify the album as like being real death metal, but that's mainly because of the vocals. Vocals are extremely deep and guttural, but the instrumentation isn't that of like a typical brutal death metal band or like slam bands. So I think that's where like just the brutal side kind of comes in. Is definitely heavy, like vocal heavy. There's a lot of like old school death metal elements in the album that are showcased too, like dueling guitar solos, dive bombs, extremely fast leads. But the guitar tone is like more scooped and brutal than more old school death metal bands, which again pairs well with the vocals, but then kind of fuses, I'd say, like that true old school death metal and brutal death metal too. Like it's just kind of like that in betweener in a sense. I can't say I've heard too many death metal bands, fuse those two elements together in the last few months, but it was a nice surprise, I'd say, and like adds a little bit of a much needed edge to the band and the album.
Cool.
There's actually some doomier parts throughout the album too, like similar to early Abhorrence, with like paired with like the raspy and the brutal vocals. Again, it creates kind of like this like demonizing atmosphere and just feels wrong and everything. But they like Protrusion basically takes all the best things of like death metal and like all the subgenres, and then basically just like sprinkles in a little bit of everything that you need, and you're just getting like at the Last Supper there, you're just getting a spread of brutal death metal and death metal in general. It's just every metalhead should be happy, and they like whatever subgenre you like, you're gonna get a little bit of what you like in this album, so you really can't go wrong. So it's definitely a must listen from me. So
nice. It was a very fitting album, considering that close to the time that we are recording this video, Easter was upon us. So
we should have done an Easter special.
Yeah.
Jesus as the surprise guest.
Yeah, he's risen. He's rizzed up.
He's rizzed up 67 times.
All right, I saved my best for last. This album was phenomenal. It was a very pleasant surprise for me. It's a band called Voidstar Nocturnal with the album Nexus Teleport Fracture. This is like transcending into the cosmos. We are in the Artemis, but we are way off orbit. We're off the flight path. We have managed to find ourselves in a black hole. We've drifted inside, and we've stumbled across this masterpiece of progressive technical death metal, avant-garde, whatever the fuck. This album is, oh my god, like I was today years old when I listened to this, and I'm like, fuck, this is insane. And then I was searching up some notes for this episode. I found out that this is a trio. This album was recorded and performed live at Colin Marston's Menegroth studio.
No way.
Crazy. And it makes you appreciate it that much more, because you're like, fuck, man, these guys, like the songwriting, the musicianship, the performance, it's so insane. It's musically, it's extremely dense, but it's very technical, very dissonant, yet it's very rhythmic and ambient without the use of riffs. Like you can't really listen to it and be like, oh, that's a sick riff. It's kind of like if Imperial Triumphant leaned more into their like progressive black metal psychedelic side and like stayed there. But there's like such a crazy push and pull to the music. It's like this like churn, but it's unnerving and tense, and the drumming is amazing. It's almost like freeform jazz style drumming. There's a whole like freeform kind of vibe to this album, but it keeps you on your toes the whole time. It's like really mind altering, really mind bending, because because of like the churning nature of the music, it like sucks you in, and there's like this rhythm to it, and you're just like pulled in and trapped there. The bass is really forward in the mix, which kind of like drives all of the compositions forward, and that's what I would describe this as, is like it's like a almost like a free form composition, even though it's not really free form. It's just they're such talented musicians, and they're obviously like they're playing this live, so it has a lot of that like quality to it. But yeah, it's phenomenal. You have to listen to it again, and yeah, appreciate it for what it is, because it's like, and the fact these guys are from Costa Rica too is like, what?
I don't know how he ever mentioned a band from Costa Rica ever.
I don't know, but it's just incredible. Yeah, it's amazing. So definitely going to put it up there, high up on the list. I don't know where it'll be at the end, but
I am dreading December, because I don't know how in the hell throughout the first 3 months of the year we're going to coordinate a year-end list. Like, this might be the hardest year-end list of all time. I'm calling it right now.
Yeah.
It is simply insane is what it is.
And then, okay, this is off topic. We're at the end of the video, but like, we obviously listen to other genres of music. So Converge put out a new album, but now they have another new album coming out.
Yeah, they're putting out a second album. 2 albums in 1 year.
So how did we rank that? Do we put
what the Converge one, like Converge A and B?
Yeah.
Like, because you know for sure, like, based off of that single could have been on that first record, and there was no skips in that first record.
I know. So I don't know how they're gonna do it.
I don't know. I do not know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But that's for a different video in a different time. So
yeah, maybe we do like a top 30, but then we do an alternate universe top 30, where it's like, you know, we're in what is it called? The Spider-Verse.
Yeah, we'll dress up in each other's clothes and we're somebody else. You're Rhett, I'm James.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, but
all right,
that's the end of the episode.
The end. If you guys like what you hear, if you guys, not if you want to, you have to check out these bands, listen to them, support them, follow them, do whatever you need to do. Just get it in you, and keep listening to great underground music. Support the artists, and subscribe, share, follow, Instagram, YouTube, all the things. Spotify. Listen to it in your car, into your headphones, when you're walking down the street, when you're walking your dog, when you're taking a poop, when you're at the gym. Just
no excuses. There's no excuses to get it on it. Did not get it in.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks so much for checking out this episode. Catch you guys on the next one.
You betcha. Stay heavy.
Stay hard.
Hard and heavy.